Good evening, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Am I
Krishna.
audible?
Yeah, I can very well hear you and see
Okay.
you as well.
Thank you. We just wait for 2 more minutes, Prabhuji, so that people are joining actually.
Yeah, not an issue.
Thank you.
आपने
I think, Prabhuji, we can start now. With your permission, I'll be starting.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Fincare Small Finance Bank, please accept our gratitude for joining our monthly webinar on topic relevance of Bhagavad Gita in modern times. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our management team. Mr. Jairam, he's our cluster head and managing Andhra belt like Rajahmundry, Guntur, and Vijayawada. And then we have Mr. Jogi Raju, he's from Vizag, managing Vizag and Kakinada. And then we have Suresh, he's our area sales manager, taking care of Andhra and Telangana. We also have our branch managers, Venkat, he's heading Guntur branch. And then we have a Rajkumar, who's heading Warangal branch. And then Nilofer, she is a branch manager for Banjara Hills, Hyderabad, she's taking care of. So before getting into the discussion, let me show you the flow of event for the next 1 hour. Can we have, I guess, thank you. So I'll be introducing about the Fincare Small Finance Bank. I'll take just 10 minutes and then hand over the forum to Prabhuji for his insight on today's topic. So let me give you the background of a banking license, how RBI gives license in 3 different categories. Actually, RBI, it gives a license in 3 different categories. One is universal bank, and then the second one is small finance category, and then the third one is payment. So in universal, everybody knows that HDFC, ICICI, Axis, these all come under a universal bank. So Fincare and other 9 banks comes under a small finance bank category. And then, the Paytm, Finotech, Postal, these all comes under the payment banks. So the difference between a universal and then the small finance bank is, like, in universal, 45% of a bank branches, they are supposed to open their branches in unbanked areas. For us, in small finance category, it is 75% of our bank branches that should be in urban and rural areas. That's a reason the word small is used in our this things, Fincare Small Finance Bank. Okay, next slide. So now let me run through our journey of Fincare Small Finance Bank. As an institution, we have completed 10 years. We started our journey in 2007 in the name of Future Financial, based out of Chittoor. And then in 2009, Disha Microfinance, commenced operations in Gujarat. So in 2014, Disha and Future Financial are united by a single brand name called Fincare. And out of 80 applications for a banking license, RBI gave a note to 10 banks. So out of this, Fincare is one among them. So we got our in-principle approval from RBI in 2015. And next slide, sir. So in 2017, we started our operations. And then we got a banking license in the month of May 2017, and then scheduled status. We got our scheduled status on 13th April 2019, and then our register office is at Ahmedabad, and then it's a Bangalore base. We have a corporate office at Bangalore. Next slide, please. This is our presence. I mean, we have around 711 banking outlets pan India, covering 17 states, and then we are almost across all states. If at all I have to talk about Telangana and Andhra, our presence is in Hyderabad, Warangal. We have a presence in Chittoor. When I talk about Andhra, Vijayawada, Guntur, Vizag, Rajahmundry, Kakinada, we have a presence in on main markets. Next slide. So coming to again, I mean before going to the guest speaker, just wanted to talk about our product offerings. As a bank, we are offering savings account, current account, fixed deposit, life insurance, health insurance. At the same time, we are also offering general insurance at competitive rates. So we are offering 7%. We are offering 7% in our savings account and also 3% in our current account, subject to terms and conditions. You can always visit our website www.fincarebank.com. So that is all about Fincare Small Finance Bank. So on this note, let's come to the main agenda of the evening. Prabhuji, next slide. Yeah, the guest speaker. Next slide, please. So let me take this opportunity to introduce HG Chakradhari Das. HG Chakradhari Das is a full-time monk with ISKCON and a Bhakti yoga practitioner for almost 2 decades. He is an engaging and a sought-after speaker, known for presenting deeply devotional discourses in community programs, as well as highly intellectual presentations at colleges and for the corporate as well. He completed his BTech in electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur, where he got first introduced to ISKCON. He was a bright student since childhood and a recipient of several awards and rewards for his academic performances. He is currently serving as one of the temple presidents of ISKCON Vijayawada, overseeing temple administration and outreach activities, along with the team of 4 more IITians. His core competencies include, mentoring youth, lifestyle coach, congregation preaching, organizing mega festivals, midday deal program, apart from being a great scholar. This is about Prabhuji. Now I request and I hand over the forum to Prabhuji to speak on today's topic, relevance of Bhagavad Gita in modern times. Over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, can everyone hear me? Right. Thank you. So I would begin today's session by offering prayers to my spiritual masters and the Supreme Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for today's evening discussion. I express my gratitude to Mr. Satyendra, Mr. Satya. So I have known him for last 2 months or so, and it's Krishna's arrangement that he connected me to him, and he has requested me on behalf of Fincare Corp to address their customers and their members on some spiritual topic. And since Gita Jayanti, that is the appearance of Bhagavad Gita on this planet Earth, happens to be just 1 week away. It's exactly 1 week from now, 25th December, that is Mukkoti Ekadashi. So that was the day, on that Tithi, the Bhagavad Gita appeared on this planet, the greatest gift of God to the humanity. So I chose to take this opportunity to speak little bit about how Bhagavad Gita is relevant in this time and age also, right? So many times people think that, okay, Prabhu, I do agree that Bhagavad Gita is extremely, is a most valuable literature and it's the word of God. However, is this relevant today also? How is it relevant for me in this time and age, in this age driven by science and technology? Where does Bhagavad Gita hold its place? That's a people have. And for that matter, even I was having this question when I got introduced for the first time in my life by some devotees. I had the same question. So as a student, if I reflect myself, then I thought this would be something that would be appealing for everyone. So if this talk, the next 30-40 minutes that I'm going to discuss, if this talk can inspire any one of you to at least give a shot to try to understand what is at all in Bhagavad Gita, then I would consider this particular class as successful. And since it was last minute notice, I have not come up with a superlative PPT, but I just scribbled something in some half an hour, whatever time I could squeeze in. So do not go by my PPT and the technicalities, but I request you to focus on the content that I'm going to share with all of you. Okay, so with this, I would like to begin today's discourse. As I said, today's topic is going to be relevance of Gita in the modern times. First of all, for those who are not initiated into Bhagavad Gita, let me tell you, Bhagavad Gita is actually part of Mahabharata. It comes under Bhishma Parva, and it is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna at the beginning of the war. Perhaps maybe I can't think of any other literature or episode which is more phenomenal and more serious context than what the context Arjuna and Krishna is facing at that point. So this subject, this discussion happened at extremely crucial and serious times. So the subject matter is very crucial, because the context in which it is discussed, the purpose for which it is discussed is also extremely crucial, actually, right? And this is in poetry form. It is 700 shlokas, right? And especially we being Indians, I'm sure every one of us must have heard the name Gita, and we every day we hear many different people send me different. Me being ISKCON man, sometimes people try to impress me by sharing some posters or what you call it as some text and all with some quotes mentioning Bhagavad Gita, and I got really surprised where is it mentioned there, because so people whatever philosophy they want to speak, they use Bhagavad Gita to promote their philosophy, right? So that's why I always say that Bhagavad Gita is most talked about, but unfortunately least understood literature. So right. So but today we will some of the things that are extremely relevant for all of us. Now, some may say that Prabhu, I am an atheist, or maybe I am an agnostic person. I don't even care whether God exists or not. So how is Bhagavad Gita relevant for me? The answer is pretty simple and straightforward. Whether you are a believer in God, not believer in God, or whatever it is, Gita is relevant for you. You know why? Because each one of us, whatever we are doing in life, is for one purpose. The goal of a materialistic person, a hardcore materialist versus a so-called moralist or a transcendentalist, the goal of everyone is the same. That is, the goal of is to become right. So that's so whether all of you who are attending my class now, you're attending it because you are trying to see if there is anything that maybe that will be discussed in today's class which can make your life better, which can make you more. And similarly, there are some who may have an option of attending this class, but he chose not to for the simple reason he believes the other thing is going to make him happy. So whatever we may be doing, each and every one of us is for the singular purpose, that is to be happy. But then the point comes, right? But everyone wants to be happy, but why is it that we are not? Because the answer is simple. For somebody to be happy, there are some prerequisites. The first thing is that you want to be happy. For that, you should know who are you. Unless you know who you are in totality, how do you know what are your needs? And think about it. Like you have stomach pain, and you want to come out of stomach pain, but for that you need to know why the stomach pain has come from and how it works and what is the medicine. So you need to have some understanding about the medicine and your bodily structure and the cause of the problem. Only then you can understand. So the same way, for somebody to be happy, we should know first and foremost thing we should know to be happy is that we should know who we are. And then the next question comes, what are your needs, right? And third thing that comes also is that and what are the laws of the place that you are staying in? Say you're in America, you can't drive your vehicle towards in the left, right? You have to right. So each place has set of defined laws. They are called social laws or civic laws. And for those who break the laws of a nation, laws of a state, they will be punished. And for those who follow the laws, they will be rewarded. Similarly, where each one of we are all living in this universal government, so there are certain laws that are governing the nature. So one should be aware of those laws also. For those who break the laws, they are called defaulters and they will be punished. So for somebody to be happy, one should also know what are the laws that are governing the place where we are living in, right? The local laws, the national laws, and the universal laws also. And last thing also, what is your identity? Whom would you belong to? So these are some of the questions that we need to have clarity. I mean, if we are looking for real happiness and real peace, and the only way we can know about all these things is from an authority, that is the scriptures, right? So Bhagavad Gita is going to give you answer to all these questions and much more than that. Rather, in my classes, I openly challenge actually, my students in my audience. I challenge that whatever questions you have on the day one of my class, I challenge whatever questions you may have, you take a pen and paper and list it down. I mean, 5 questions, 10 questions, 100, 200, 1,000, list it down. And by the end of the 18 days, this Bhagavad Gita classes, like I was taking 18 days course, per day one chapter. I said by the end of this 18 days course, I can bet each of your question will be answered by Bhagavad Gita. Okay, you may yourself may not come to a conclusion about what is the answer. We can answer them using Bhagavad Gita in itself. So Bhagavad Gita is comprehensive and it is complete in itself actually. Just a second. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So, and now introduction, I would like to go into some of our points of discussion. Now, to begin with, I'm not going to go about discuss about the spiritual relevance and what actually is the essence of Gita or the message of Gita, because for that I have to discuss about the transcendental subject matters. But I would like to confine our discussion today that I mean to say, for even those who are not fully believers of Lord or whatever. But even for those people, how the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is so relevant for them, right? So I'm going to discuss something which are extremely relevant even at the bodily platform, at the social platform, at the physical, emotional, mental platform. I'm not discussing the spiritual benefits, because if you talk about the spiritual side of Bhagavad Gita, then it's like oceanic. So even because many people, they may not be so much inclined to spirituality, but even at the so-called you want to live a happy life in the society, even for them, how the messages of Gita will be extremely relevant to you is something we are going to discuss. 5 to 6 topics, and let us see according to how much time we have, we can cover those topics. The first thing I'm going to discuss is about art of managing stress and depression, something which is a extremely serious problem in this time, modern age. Like I worked as a strategy consultant in pharma domain. So, and I worked in the time 2007-8. That was the time when there is a recession. Even companies like Lehman Brothers and all those big giants, they all collapsed. But then there is one company which didn't collapse, that is like pharma industry. And even within that, hypertension is a disease which is number one disease actually. So the stress and depression is currently the number one problem that is plaguing the society. So we will see how Bhagavad Gita has solution to that. Next thing we will discuss about mind control, universal problem. Another thing we'll discuss about very burning issue, universal brotherhood, very important global issue. So then we will discuss about art of handling reversals and pains, which is very personal one, and overcoming lower natures. It is also a personal one, and making us responsible citizens. It's a global one. So there are some global issues that Bhagavad Gita is addressing. I mean, we'll discuss today, and there are some personal issues, and at a global level, at an individual level, a community level, how Bhagavad Gita is providing a solution. That we'll see now. The first thing we will see, art of managing stress and depression. Many times, like in my more than 15 years of experience in outreach, I was mainly into reaching out to college students and little bit corporates, right? So, and these are the people, I mean, especially I preach in IITs. They are, I mean, they think themselves as successful people, and corporates also. So they people somehow, they just feel that maybe it's not so relevant for me, whether it is right or wrong, and I don't care. How is it relevant? Because I'm a successful man, right? So we are advancing in technology, science, so on and so forth. But actually, the problems, the modern day, the problems are only increasing. It's not only it's is it the question is like, it's not that whether it is relevant today or not. The answer is actually, the point is, it's even more relevant today than ever before. Why? Because the human life, the modern man is making his life extremely complicated, actually extremely complicated. Earlier lives, it was like, the philosophy is like this: simple living and high thinking. And the modern man, the philosophy is like simply living and hardly thinking. Right? Simply living and hardly thinking is the philosophy. And as a result of that, because they are leading some quite unnatural life, because of that, stress and depression is the natural thing. And there are, this is because of three wrong attitudes in particular. The first thing is controllership, right? We all want things to happen the way we want to happen, and everyone should hear us, obey us, things should happen the way we plan. So we have many times quite unreasonable expectations, actually, from oneself also, from others also, and thus we make our lives miserable and others' lives also miserable. The fact is that we don't have control even of our own body, forget about others and the situations and all. But somehow, this is one reason. Second reason is perfectionist syndrome. There are people, these are the people who are most miserable. Maybe outsiders, they may clap them, good done, good job, because you have done excellent job. But then they are, how to, in fact, they are most miserable people, more than anybody else. They want 10 out of 10 in everything. They want 10 out of 10 from their wife, from their children, from their boss, from their subordinate. But in this world, it doesn't happen. We are living with people who are imperfect, right? The whole material world, Krishna speaks, is like a hospital. In hospital, you don't expect people who are quite healed and happy. You expect patients, actually. We have our own conditionings. Other person also has his own conditionings. But then, when we have unreasonable expectations and we are running behind perfectionism, this causes so much stress and anxiety, on and that's spoiling the health. And third problem is that enjoyment maniacs. These are the people who look for enjoyment in everything what they do. And the fact is that there are some things where you should do it as a responsibility, and there are some things which is a recreation, actually. But these people, whatever they do, they just want enjoy. Even with the job they do, then I mean to say, for in everything they try to they want things their way, and they want something juice out of that. So which doesn't happen, right? There are some things which you like to do, but there are some things which you need to do also, even if you don't like it. That's called responsibility. But these people, they have very unreasonable expectations from life, right? So this is the three wrong attitudes. And if you reflect on yourself, we all have one or more of these problems. And this, if you think about it, actually, this is actually God. God is absolute controller. He is the only one in this world who is in full control, And there's another thing called perfectionism. Only the God is perfect in whatever he does. And we humans, we are with frailties, right? And the God is supreme enjoyer. And when we try to take up the position of somebody else, enjoyer, we'll be extremely miserable, So many times, because of this, because of not being realistic, being over optimistic, and being over ambitious or passionate, we burn ourselves, right? There are people, when they're successful, they just completely go off boundaries and extremely arrogant, proud, and other things. And when they are when they are the losing side, they are completely demoralized, depressed, and crying, and sometimes they face suicidal tendencies also, right? So this is the number one problem the society is facing today. With all the technological advancement that we have, with all so-called, so much, whatever, the gadgets and everything, but the world, the number one problem the world is facing is this. And Krishna has very simple solution, right? Krishna's solution is, of course, it's in many shlokas, but one of the prominent shloka is Karmanya Vadikaraste. The shloka, Bhagavad Gita 2.47, Karmanya Vadikaraste, Mafaleshu Kadachana. So Krishna is telling clearly, my dear Arjuna, do your duty. See, he is not only answering to Arjuna, he is telling to everyone through Arjuna, right? So the Bhagavad Gita, if I skipped that point. So the Bhagavad Gita, the context is that Arjuna is in a situation where it's not like black and white. This is right, this is wrong. There is many gray lines, and he is not able to understand with the gray zone. Krishna, what is dharma? I'm just not able to comprehend. So the answer, so it's not about sometimes people say it's violence, non-violence. The thing is that what is the right thing to do? What is dharma? And Krishna, in the process of answering that, he not only explains the problem, he explains the root cause of the problem, and he answers much more than that. So how the Ishvara, Prakriti, Jiva, Kala, Karma. It's a big picture. But in the process, Krishna is telling this, he's telling here, he's asking Arjuna, do your duty, That's the only thing a Jiva can do. If you understand this, if you understand you are not the controller, Krishna is making very clear. He's not only telling you are not the controller, he's even telling you, then who is the controller, He's telling you how things happen. What is in your hands, what is not in your hands. Krishna makes it crystal clear, So what you should worry about is what in your hands, whatever is in your hands, that much you do it. What is not in your hands, don't worry about that, So doing your duty is the only thing that's in your hands, actually. You are neither the controller nor the enjoyer, actually. The example can be given of a farmer, See, sometimes people, those who don't understand Gita, they think that Bhagavad Gita makes one irresponsible, They say, Sab Bhagwan karta hai, everything God does, so I can go and sleep. Another people, Karlo dunya mutti mein, what you can win, whatever you wish you can do it, you can accomplish it, Sky is the limit, that. And when the other person who reads that book and he can't, he aims for the sky and he doesn't achieve the sky, and he is in depression actually. He's already reached some level, but still because of unreasonable, So, but Bhagavad Gita is clearly telling what is realistic thing. He gives example of this farmer and rains. The farmer, he can choose his free will to sow a seed. Okay. And first of all, to harvest the land and to sow a seed. That's his in hands, and that is what he will do. And the other thing called rains coming on time and in right proportion. On time and right proportion. That is something which is not in his hands actually. And when that happens also, then there is some time factor that comes. After some time, you'll get the harvesting actually. Right? That means there is something called karma, duty, which is called free will, something called destiny. So any action is nothing but a combination of free will as well as the destiny. And the destiny is something which you can't control, but the free will, that means is in your hands. So is it in your hands or is it in God's hands? It's in your hands in the sense that you have to do your duty. So Krishna is telling, just do your duty, and after that, happen. Otherwise, it won't happen. But then, anyhow, because it's not up to you, so you don't worry about it. So somebody can apply this, he will be extremely peaceful. Even if it successfully understands he is not the only one because of which it happened, so he won't be too much elated. Something doesn't happen, he won't be depressed actually. He can be unaffected by duality. In Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter, Krishna even explains in detail about, this Bhagavad Gita is all about 5 components. Essentially, it is about Jiva. Who are you? Supreme Lord. Who is Lord? And who Paramatma? Jishvara, Paramatma means Ishvara. Ishvara, Jiva, and there's something called Prakriti. So we are living in Prakriti. So these 3 are the most important things. And these 3 are connected by 2 things. That is called Kala and Karma. And Kala is something which is not in your hands. Karma is something which is in your hands actually. So Ishvara, Prakriti, Jiva, Kala and Karma. The combination of these 5 things is the entire Bhagavad Gita. And that we will not discuss now. But then I can tell you, one who understands this Gita properly, he will become extremely responsible and detached. And that's something, if somebody can be that, his performance will increase million times without undergoing stress. You will be extremely responsible, same time you will be detached, right? That's in general, those who are responsible, they become attached, and those who are detached, they become irresponsible. But a combination of responsible plus detachment, if one can achieve that balance, I can tell you, he will be a successful man in whatever he does. And next thing we will see, the art of mind control. And this is another thing. It is said, a mind can make a heaven into a hell. The same mind can make a hell into a heaven actually. Is it not? Right? So it's extremely important. And we all see in our lives actually. There are some people externally we see they have everything in life, but somehow their mind makes a hell of their lives, and they keep fighting in their families, relationship problems. They have money, health, name, fame, prestige, everything at their disposal. But their minds are so complicated, it makes them a hellish life actually. On the other hand, for one whose mind is controlled, even if they lead a simple life, they'll be extremely happy. So the point is that the control in the mind is extremely important. And there are so many, like in the market, if you see, there are so many motivational speakers, personality development trainers. They give unlimited, there are unlimited books about art of harnessing the mind, mind control, and tapping the power of your mind. There are so many books like that in market. And they give you so many tips and tricks to control the mind. And of course, they may do work at a certain level. But what Krishna speaks in Gita is not a painkiller, as I say, You know what I mean by painkiller? There is a problem, you do a symptomatic treatment. But then Krishna speaks the root cause, and the solution that Krishna offers is, will solve the problem forever actually. And what's that? So Krishna is telling, mind, when it is controlled, it's the best friend. And when it is not controlled, it's the worst enemy. And Krishna says, when the mind is not controlled, there can't be peace. And when there is no peace, whoa, then Krishna said like this, if there is no peace, then where is the discussion of happiness? So to be happy, you need to be peaceful. To be peaceful, your mind has to be your friend. And to make your mind your friend is a sadhana, abhyas, practice. And how to do that? Krishna explains that. So further, Krishna first explains, as I said, any problem, you go to any doctor, So you tell the problem. The doctor should know the composition of the body. Then he can cure the disease, right? So Krishna first explains the human composition actually in hierarchy. And what is that hierarchy? The senses, the senses are subordinate to the mind. I mean to say the mind is superior to senses, and the intelligence is superior to the mind, right? And so the mind is in between senses and intelligence. Essentially, what is the functionality of the mind? The senses, they are like the uh, knowledge acquiring. They give inputs to the mind, and mind has a storehouse. Mind is nothing but a storehouse. It has some in data based upon previous experiences, right? So that particular so the mind has, like, for example, the eyes will give you something, the tongue will say, okay, this here is gulab jamun, I want to have it, and mind has a previous experience of, okay, gulab jamun tastes like this. So mind, because mind has its own experiences, so mind likes something, doesn't like something. The job of mind simply is like, I like this, I don't like this, I want this, I don't want this, and it keeps crying like a baby. And sometimes what mind is asking is not good for it. But who will tell mind this is good, this is bad? That is the job of intelligence. That is the reason it is mentioned intelligence is superior to the mind. And who will, but the intelligence, if it becomes weak, if you don't nourish the intelligence, then mind cannot be controlled. So the how to control the mind, Krishna gives answer like this. There are two ways to control the mind. One way to control the mind is through its master. The master is intelligence. So you strengthen the intelligence, naturally intelligence can control the mind. Okay, that means the mind is telling, I want this gulab jamun, but you have a diabetes, serious diabetes, it's going to kill you. And you already suffered so much because of insulin, all these things. And last time, because of doing little tempting, you little temptation, you ended up in a serious trouble. And now again the mind is crying, I want this. You know the consequences, but you are not able to control yourself. Why? Because your intelligence is not able to control the mind. So the intelligence is like discrimination power is with the intelligence. Mind only wants, yes, I want it, I don't want it. That is, so how many people really understand this? Tell me. The so-called, even the mind control people, they say, okay, think good, be good, smile, don't smile, think positive thoughts, be with good people. Of course they do work, but they are like superficial, but the real thing Krishna is telling, this is the job of mind, this is the job of intelligence, and the intelligence has to be strong. If the father is strong, he can control the child. Father is weak, the child will take him wherever he wants to take actually. The intelligence has to be strengthened by good association and by divine literatures, right? The rationality discrimination has to be strengthened. This is one level. Second level, the mind itself has to be subdued. How to do that? That is by meditation and by chanting the holy names of the Lord. By this, the mind will also come to sattva guna and suddha sattva guna. Mind will get trapped in, there are something called modes. Okay, sattva, rajas, tamas. And when the mind is by default in tamo guna and rajo guna, it hankers for those things which are bad for you. It's your enemy. Ego clashes and all these things, these are the things which make your life miserable. So the mind it will go to sattva guna when you do the sattva guna activities. So meditation, especially chanting the names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When you chant Hare Krishna, like this, when this is called mantra meditation, by this mind calms down actually. Mind calms down. Mind also calms down. Yeah, this yoga, swasha, this is called meditation. That is one way to control the mind, but the best way is that strengthening the intelligence. By this, your mind will become your friend. And when the mind is a friend, he is the best friend actually. You can be most happy even whether you are in a heaven or a hell, right? And the answer is given in Gita more elaborately. I'm just giving a synopsis. And third thing is also very burning problem, that is the universal, that is the sectarianism and this factionism, fanaticism. These are problems, the terrorism, right, that are plaguing the world and is causing a serious challenges to humanity, right? And Bhagavad Gita do have a solution for that: universal brotherhood and loving everyone. You see, my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, when he was in, he was a teenage, 16, 17 years old. That time there was civil war happening in America between black and white men, and it is such a, it is, there are two things. One thing is civil war, and another is Vietnam War. Both were happening at the same time in the 60s. Like then 60s, it was happening, and his name was Richard that time. Richard, So this Richard, he was feeling so pained. Come on, how could people of the same country fight for something which is so foolish? We're all one. But he could see there is problem from the white side also, the black side also, and both are fighting on the platform just based on the color, color, rights, discrimination, and all. And he just felt this is completely wrong, but somehow he was not able to convince others how we are all, one, right? How we are all the same, He didn't have any strong reason, but his heart said that actually, of course, he's a empowered person by birth, from his childhood he's a different person, but he felt every living entity he was seeing with compassion, he is also like me, not different, but then he was not able to understand, he was not able to give a valid argument on how we are one actually, like that. And later on, he came to India in search of God, by walk, traveling all over, from America, to India. He came by walk, It's a long journey, There is a book called Journey Home. So if I request all of you, those of you who have not read that book, the book called The Journey Home, autobiography by Radhanath Swami, kindly do read. I recommend that. So when he finally landed in India, then he went to so many Himalayas, yogis, this, that. Finally, he came, he read Bhagavad Gita. When he read Bhagavad Gita, this particular shloka, 5th chapter, 18th shloka, he said, my heart's burning desire got quenched. My thirst got quenched by that. There it is mentioned that how a enlightened person, he sees everyone with equal vision. What? What is that? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmani Kavihasteni Sunicheva Sopakecha Pandita Samadarshina. That means an enlightened person, because by virtue of his modesty and knowledge, he can respect everyone, for their position actually. Because he doesn't see the physical form, he sees the spiritual spark in everyone. It's like, the physical form, that there is a body, nothing but a dress. Do you respect a person based on his dress? There are people who do that. They just respect a person based on his, dress and other things, and his bank balance and other things. But that's not a right thing, But one who is a gentlemanly person, one who is a virtuous person, he respects the other person for what he is, not for his externals, So similarly, an enlightened person, he also sees the bodies as a externals, and the essence is the soul. And just as much as you have the right to live, you have the right to be loved, you have the need to be loved and respected. Similarly, he offers the same respect and love to every jiva. Even in Christianity, Jesus says, love others as you want to be loved. This is a universal theme actually. So, but here, why we should love others? The answer is given here, because you are a spirit spark, and every jiva is also, they are spiritual souls, and they all belong to the one God, Mama Vamsho Jiva Loke. And they are taken different forms, right? So when you see a jiva, an enlightened person, when Bhagavad Gita says, when you see any living entity, what Bhagavad Gita teaches, like I am there. Now, I may see somebody else coming to my temple in a car, I may respect them. But some ant or rat is moving, I think, useless. No. But an enlightened person, he sees beside that, but even the Paramatma is there, even in that ant. The ant also is a soul as much as I am a soul, So naturally he will respect that. So forget about, human beings, Forget about humanity. People say humanity is the number one religion. But a true spiritualist, it's not just humanity, it's a every jiva, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, every jiva he respects actually. Of not that he interacts. It's not that you embrace a tiger, saying that all are same, just like you embrace a human, you won't embrace a tiger. But then you respect the tiger's existence, and you also, I mean to say, in it as per the need actually. So that means, Bhagavad Gita, according to Gita, it sees body as a dress. What is important is the person inside the dress actually, right? So if by following this principle of Bhagavad Gita, a devotee of the Lord, one who is a practitioner of Gita, he is a real well-wisher of everyone, because he doesn't encroach on somebody else's property. He doesn't encroach and somebody else's matlab, every living entity. Forget about humans, So he is a true sadhu, because he respects every jiva. He doesn't cause harm to anyone. And he sees everyone as the family of the Lord. I am a child of Lord. This ant is a child of Lord. Everyone is a child of Lord. So naturally, there will be universal brotherhood actually. The so-called, other things like war and other things is just motivated ones. But a true spiritualist, as per Gita, Gita gives the reason why there is universal brotherhood is only possible when you accept universal fatherhood. So when you see every jiva is a child of Lord, you will naturally respect everyone. So this is another thing. You will be able to love. In ISKCON the other day, there was a program where my spiritual master Radhanath Swami is a Jew by birth. There is another guru, Sachinanda Swami, he is a German by birth. And they both were dancing for hours together, doing kirtan and dancing, And then the third devotee was telling, just see Srila Prabhupada's movement, Bhagavad Gita, These two are like bitter rivals. A Jew and a German, in general, they are more than hated than India and Pakistan. But here we are saying, you see, how they are mixing and loving each other, because they are not on the bodily platform that I am a Jew or I am a German, They are different platform. They are the platform of the soul. What's the time now? Okay. Art of handling reversals and pains. This is another very important topic. You see, in life, many times we get reversals. Of course, earlier we said we are not the doer. That is one way also we can be peaceful. But Krishna also, this is one of my most favorite shlokas, Bhagavad Gita 2.14, where Krishna explains Arjuna, you have the right to do your duty. And he says, in the process of doing your duty, you may sometime encounter happiness, sometime encounter misery. But in both the cases, do not be carried by happiness, distress, success, failure, and affect your responsibilities. No. Be neutral to both happiness and misery. Krishna is telling how to handle, explaining Gita. So Krishna is not only the philosopher. Krishna is the number one. He is the world's first psychiatrist or psychologist. You can call it as. He is the father of psychology also. Krishna is the father of psychology also. Father of psychiatry also. He is telling how to face reversals and all. He explains. You see. Krishna speaks, my dear Arjuna, the happiness and distress that you encounter in your life, they are like the summers and winters. Just like summers come, they stay for some time, they go off, push off, and the winters come, they stay for some time, and they can go, and again summers come. So that means temporary, right? So Krishna said similarly, happiness and distress is also temporary. Just like, there is a winter, for sure there is going to summer also. And summers and winters, they come without asking. It's not that you have to ask for it. So similarly, happiness and distress, just like distress. Krishna says, just like distress, nobody in this world, ask for distress or pain, but they do come. Similarly, happiness also will come without asking. Okay, so distress also will come without asking. Happiness also will come without asking. And the beauty of that is that neither of the two are permanent. You yourself are not permanent. Come on, So which means, so do not get, discouraged or demoralized in the process of doing your duties. Otherwise, you can't do your material duties also, spiritual duties also. Right? A housewife, if she thinks, oh, it's too hot, in kitchen, she can't cook. She can't do her responsibility of feeding her child and husband, Right? She has to, even if it's difficult, I will do. It's not that in summers I will not do, only in winters I will do. No. She will do in both cases, material duty. Similarly, so she has to tolerate. So the husband has to tolerate also, He goes to, sometimes the boss is good, sometimes he get a very worst boss. He will tolerate. If he doesn't tolerate, he gives up the job. He can't do his duty of taking care of family nicely. So similarly, so these are material examples. So even in spiritual journey or material, in both cases, there are things which you can solve, you should solve it. There are things which you cannot solve it. Then what is the solution? Tolerate. And tolerate is a mantra. Sometimes it appears the word tolerance is a negative word, in the sense it's a incapability, it's a synonym of incapability. Sometimes people think, come on, only the losers talk of tolerance. Just like, what can I do? I have to tolerate. Ooh, my wife harasses me, I have to tolerate. No. So here, when Krishna says tolerate, it is a enlightened person tolerates because he understands they both are temporary. It's if I unnecessarily get into actions too much, it will further complicate. Better you just tolerate, it will go off. And that's one reason. Second reason is that we should focus on the goal. Krishna speaks of two things: be focused on the goal, and also understand both are temporary. When you do this, you will be so peaceful, and even the failures cannot disturb you, because understand that is a part of life. Like I give example of, if you are going in a train, if you go in a train, you have to reach a destination, and you are getting a maybe 2 lakh rupees per month package, and sometimes you may not get reservation. You may have to go general, and the general may be extremely troublesome. People are disturbing, the stamping, the spitting. The bathroom is full. Somebody is, they are, spitting on you, sneezing on you, sitting on you, on your place. Somebody eating food, they just throw it on your clothes. They make your clothes dirty. And it may be a horrible experience in general bogie. But if you are too much disturbed by that, then you will get down on the train. You will not reach your destination. Actually, you won't be able to do you won't be able to reach your goal. But if you remember the goal, and also remember this journey is a temporary thing, I just have to tolerate it, and your focus is on the goal, then what will happen? You will be peaceful actually, even in the tiresome situation. There are things which you can change. If you can change, you will change. If you cannot change, understand this temporary, I have to face it, and I'll be worried about goal. Similarly, life is like that. Sometimes you will get a first class AC train, which means your material life is very easy. But sometimes you may get a very difficult material life, lot of problems in life. Then it's difficult as a general train. But the good thing is that both the first class AC also, journey means beginning point, ending point. First class AC also has a beginning point, and you have to get down someplace. General also, you have to get down the same place. So similarly, the material, the body, this lifetime, you may have a good life or not so good life. In both cases, you don't have to get demoralized or depressed. Understand? Both are temporary. Even the good life is also temporary. The bad life is also temporary. But what is important is that I have to reach my goal. The goal is self-realization actually. So if that is the goal, then you will not get disturbed by these things, and your focus is on that. So Krishna says, focus on your duty. Which duty? Material duty and spiritual duty also. So two things. One thing is focus on goal. Second thing, understand temporary. Then you can peacefully tolerate, not tolerating with grudges. Right? For those things which you can't do it, you have to tolerate. You can't, right? And maybe this is the last thing I will speak: overcoming lower natures. This is another thing which is very important, that in life many times we want to be some way, I want to be peaceful, I want to be smiling, I don't want to be hard on somebody, I don't want to be instinctively, what do you call it as, impulsive person. We all want to be certain way, but we see that whatever you plan, whatever you desire, many times we are driven by certain natures. It appears somebody is controlling us. Why am I losing my control? I went and I was very much conscious. This time I will not be like this, but still I end up being like that. I decided I am not going to speak negative about anyone, but still I spoke negatively. I decided I am not going to be whatever, shout at that person. I still shouted when there is an opportunity. So why is it that we are, or you decide that I want to make my room clean, still dirty? Every student decides, I will study from first day of the semester. I mean, on the day of exam, everybody thinks, oh, come on, okay, this time jo ho gaya. Next semester, I will study from day one. We all make plans, but 99% of the times, our plans fail, or 99% people, they flop their plans. Why it happens? You want to be a certain way, it doesn't happen that way, because is there somebody controlling me, or am I programmed certain way? Okay, this is my nature. What can I do about that? I mean, if somebody little more thoughtfully understands, I have a certain nature, So can I change my nature? Or if can I not change my nature? And if I can't change my nature, how am I responsible for things that I do? You're understanding my point? I mean, if you are programmed in such a way that you have to become angry and upset, then the consequences of that anger, why you should face it? Somebody, the one who created you, should face it, right? So these are all the questions that sometimes those who are thoughtful, they'll get it. So the answer is given here in Krishna, where Krishna is telling that each one of us, we are driven by three modes called goodness, passion, ignorance. There are three unseen forces which are controlling us, and they are pushing you to be a certain way. And they are the ones who are make you happy, distressed, moral, blah, 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 all that stuff, And it is compulsory for us, Krishna says, we should know these three hidden forces who are controlling us. They're not controlling, they are pushing us. But then how do you overcome that? He says that means they can push you, but you have the free will. How you can come out of that three modes, Krishna has given a solution actually. The practical solutions also and the ultimate solutions also Krishna has given. By this, you will have control over your life. You can decide when you want to be peaceful. You can decide when you want to be anger. Anger is not bad. Anger is like a knife. Is knife good or bad? Knife, if it is in the heart of a surgeon, it is good. If it is if it is in the hands of a murderer, it is bad. Nothing called knife is good or bad. See, anger is good or bad. When anger controls you, it's bad. When you control the anger, it's good. That means some episode happened and immediately passion arose, you become angry. That means anger is controlling you. It will have detrimental results. But sometimes you understand something is wrong, you have to exhibit anger to bring the situation control. That anger is good. So that means, are you controlled by the modes? Are you controlling the modes? That's the mastery. And Krishna explains in Gita the mastery, and how at least you have to come to this mode of Sattva Guna, how to come to the mode of Sattva Guna. Krishna explains the kind of food that you eat, the kind of people you associate with, the kind of recreation you have, your biological clock, what time you're sleeping, what time you're getting up, right? The kind of clothes everything, they all make a factor. One level. Another thing is that for one who surrenders unto God, these three modes, they stop influencing you. That is the ultimate solution, Krishna explains. But we are driven by these modes, and we have to come out of these modes to become happy. So this is another concept. It's very practical. So many times people, you see this, we have the example of Tiger Woods, world's most famous golf player, but or maybe Bill Clinton, right? Extremely famous and popular people, but they have some lower modes, lower natures, right? And they know very well what will be the implications if they are caught. Monica Lewinsky, something, I don't know. But still, they are, they know it. They're so intelligent people, but still they're forced, they're impelled to do some mistake. And as a result of which, they suffered so badly, And what pushed them, why they are, who's pushing them? Why they're not able to control? That means why the willpower is not sufficient. Modern people say, okay, increase your willpower. Hey, come on, there is somebody is pushing from behind. You try to address that first. What is pushing you is the modes. So if you can control these modes, you can make your life fantastic, actually. Last thing also, laws of karma, Krishna speaks, where he tells you how, ignorance leads to sin, sin leads to suffering, right? Ignorance leads to sin, sin leads to suffering, actually. So he addresses the root cause of the ignorance. I think I will not touch it. So actually, I can share so many points in this Gita, but essentially, the most important thing I can tell you is that some of the most intelligent people in the world, those who have are masters in personality development training programs, like we can see here, Mr. Stephen Covey. I have read this book also before. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's sold almost 20 million copies. More than 25 million copies were sold, actually. one of the most famous book, and many people in India also is extremely famous, right? He's one of the most famous person, you know. But he openly speaks that the 7 habits he has taken it from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so now we can see there are like other day, 2 days before, somebody sent a message to me saying that, my dear Prabhu, you know, I mean, saying that some Russian scientist, some Japanese scientist, they have done some research on Bhagavad Gita and they have come to conclusion how by reading Gita, your physical health also will improve and your diabetic patients also it will form a cure, how your diabetes will be cured. So many things and all. Stress levels will go down. And they are sharing it as if, you know, out of pride, as if our Gita is so famous. To which I replied, that, come on, Krishna himself is telling this in Bhagavad Gita, you know. And our unfortunate situation is that we read those books, you know, who take from Bhagavad Gita, but we don't read Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has all that what the modern scientists and theologists saying, and much more than that also, right? But unfortunately, we, you know, our Indians ourselves, we have kind of become so slumber, and we are not understanding this. So my request to all of you is that kindly make it a habit. See, Gita, Bhagavad Gita is the greatest gift of Lord to humanity. You know, accept that gift. Try to understand it. You know, try to study and make your life perfect. And on this occasion of Gita Jayanti, the day Lord Supreme Lord 5,000 years to Arjuna and to the entire world, you know. So that is just 1 week later, you know. So on the occasion of Gita Jayanti, I request each one of us, you yourself learn and also make it a habit to give this greatest gift to everyone, you know. Instead of giving, you know, New Year gift, diary, calendar, you can give Bhagavad Gita, you know, right? Instead of giving on birthdays, marriage, function, all this, we give what? We give some sweet box, we give some dry fruits. What else we give? These things like the gifts we give, instead of giving that, you know, we can rather give Bhagavad Gita. See, this sweets and all we digest, it's done. It's calendars, they go away after 1 year, but this book, it will never go away, you know? So it will be really benefit. So if only we can all make it a habit, you know, that all the pleasantries that we exchange, if we do it with Bhagavad Gita, and for our functions and for other functions also, for our colleagues, we all can gift Bhagavad Gita. And for our employees, staff and all, if you can give this Bhagavad Gita at the New Year gifts and whatever gifts and all, I'll tell you, you will be doing a great benefit for yourself and for others also. Of course, you will be able to do that when you yourself understand the value of Gita. So I request all of you to kindly have a copy of Gita and you study it. And on behalf of ISKCON Vijayawada, I would like to tell you that that we are organizing Gita for you online classes. They happen. So we just now completed second batch where we teach entire Bhagavad Gita in 18 days. 18 chapters we teach in 18 days. So next batch we will begin shortly. So all of you can also enroll. Already 8,000 people enrolled in 2 batches last 2 months. So next batch will commence shortly, and we will keep you updated on that also. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So I would like to take few questions if any one of you have any. And yeah, so the forum is open for question and answers. Anybody can ask me. I would like to address your questions actually.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for in-depth knowledge on the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in modern times. I mean, you have almost covered, the managing stress and then depression, art of mind control, art of handling reversal and pain, overcoming low natures. Prabhuji, I have a doubt, to start with. 2 questions. First one is Bhagavad Gita a religious book or a motivational book? That's the first question. And then the second one, is it true? I mean, when you have a problem, just open any page in Bhagavad Gita and you will find the answer to it.
Thoughtful questions. Thank you for asking wonderful questions. First question is Bhagavad Gita a religious book? You see, Bhagavad Gita, yeah, and it is only spiritual. Bhagavad Gita, first of all, the knowledge that is shared in Bhagavad Gita is universal. Okay, if you read entire 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, you will not find any shloka where Krishna is like specifying you that this is right, this is wrong, like that. So he is telling you what is the responsibility of jiva, and that is, it transcends all religions. It is the it is at the soul platform actually. That is called Sanatana. Sanatana Dharma, which means actually it's Sanatana means eternal. It is at the platform of soul. So this the knowledge of Gita is universal, and that is the first point. And it's eternal, which means it crosses all the boundaries of time, place, sect, and all those things. Second concept is that, okay, what is this knowledge of Gita? I have already given some examples. Bhagavad Gita, as I said, if I have to explain in 2 lines, it helps you how to be happy in this world. You are living in this world. How to be happy in this world, and also be righteous, and also attain the how to be happy in the next life. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And for someone to be happy, it should be knowledge. And Krishna systematically, as I said, explains the Bhagavad Gita is all about 5 topics. And these 5 topics is Jiva, that is the soul, Ishwar, that is God, Prakriti, that is nature. Where religion come in picture? Tell me, So where does religion come in picture? Because every religion talks of these things. And so the interaction between these 3 things. How is Jiva connected to the Ishvara? And what is Ishvara's relationship with Prakriti? What is Prakriti's relationship with the Jiva? These 3 things are there. So what is the relation with each other? First thing, we should know that you are not the only person in this world. You are not the only controller. And if that is the case, we could have made our lives the way we want to live. So how these things work, and where does this Kala and Karma come in picture? The other 2 elements. The Kala and the Karma. So the Kala is the time factor, which is not in the control of the Jiva, and that time factor, that is time factor, you can call it destiny. The Kala is, you can call it destiny, and the Karma is something like your free will. It's in your hands. So Ishvara, Prakriti, Jiva, Kala, and Karma. So how these 5 interact with each other? That's a big science. That is something I can't explain in just a matter of a minute. But when you understand that, you know how, then you know how to live in this world and what God expects. And you also actually Bhagavad Gita is a book of love, right? So you will also understand that how Supreme Lord is all loving. And you'll also understand what is your relationship with the Lord, and why Lord is doing what he is doing, how he is the Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam is really your ever well-wisher friend. All these elements you'll understand only when you are in knowledge. Like your mother is doing so many things for you, the government is doing so many things for you, so many welfare schemes. But you will only understand these welfare schemes when you understand how the government is operating. Otherwise, you may see when you come from office, the hot water is ready, food is ready, everything is available, but you don't even understand somebody is giving you that. Where is the concept of love? So this Bhagavad Gita will help you understand how the laws of nature work, and what is the relation between these 3, and how this Kala and Karma function. So that so this knowledge, you can say, is a complete. This itself is to be honest, a complete knowledge, both materially and spiritually. Also, it will make you happy. Second question you asked about. What is your second question?
My second question was, Prabhuji, I mean, if we have any problem, we
okay,
just
you
need
open
to
any
refer
page
to-
of Bhagavad Gita,
Yes.
you will find the answer for the question. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the question. I understand. You see, very wonderful question. So sometimes it is said that you open any page of Gita, you will find the answer for the question, the answer for the problem that you are facing. So some people say that. So what about that? Listen, the answer is like this. Bhagavad Gita, unlike a material science, the matter, the books that we study, they are just just a mundane knowledge, right? But the spiritual knowledge, not only Bhagavad Gita, but all transcendental literature, the Vedas we call it as. Vedas also have Vedas personified, Veda Purushas they call it. So the scriptures, they're transcendental literature, and they reciprocate according reader, right? That means the Shastras, they are the word of Lord, and they are also personalities. In spiritual, they are also personalities, and it depends on the consciousness. So when when the seeker is sincere, okay, and and the seeker is prayerful, then when he takes shelter of the scripture, then when he reads it, then the Paramatma in the heart, as I said, unlike in a material science, in material science, I mean in the schools, let us say, teacher is teaching on the board, and you are a backbencher, you are least respectful to teacher, you can throw rockets on the teacher, you can do mimicry, you can make fun of the teacher. Still, if you are smart enough, you will cram the subject, you will vomit it in the exam day, and then you will get good marks. That's material knowledge. In spiritual knowledge, that doesn't happen. The Paramatma factor is always there, and Paramatma inspires. Paramatma helps you to bring the knowledge from here to here. So when you read a scripture, something, that knowledge will go to here. But if your consciousness is proper, if you are prayerful, then the Paramatma will help you. Whatever you read and heard, that is not necessary exactly. It may not be relevant to what the situation you are facing. But the Supreme Lord, the Paramatma, He inspires you based on what you have heard to get the answer what you want. So there are other factors, the scriptures themselves reveal, Paramatma himself supports. And Krishna speaks this in Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter. He says this, Dadami Buddhi Yoga. It's me who gives him that knowledge, Enamamu Payantite, by which he can understand me and come to me actually. So that, but for whom he gives? Tesham Tatatu Yuktan Bhajatam Preeti Purvaka. Preeti. Preeti means with love, with respect. So it's if somebody challenges, let's say I spoke now. Yes, you open Bhagavad Gita, whatever you wish, you can read it. You get answer. Somebody out of challenging, you'll open it. He will not get it actually, because scriptures are not. You can't challenge and same time expect the scriptures to reveal to you. No, that only happen in movies. But with the respect, with devotion, with sincerity, you try to approach the Shastra. That is the reason you see in the beginning of the class we offered prayers. We are offering prayers to Bhagavad Gita. We are offering prayers to Acharyas, the Supreme Lord Himself, so that we can, so that let they reveal something in my heart, and whatever I speak based on what Paramatma is inspiring me, let that not only enter for your mind, and that Paramatma help you bring it to your heart. So it's a heart to heart thing. Between two hearts, there are two minds also. Okay. Between two hearts, there are two minds. And for the speaker, he has to transcend the mind by taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. The audience also has to transcend the mind by taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. Then it works out. Between speaker and audience, or between the Shastra and the reader also. So in that sense, if you are sincere and prayerful, and with that prayerful mode, if you read, the Shastras will reveal, not only Bhagavad Gita, any Shastra actually. They do reveal, what exactly situation you are facing. They will help you, come out of that problem. Thank you, Satya. So is there anybody who has a question? I can answer.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
If you have any question, please unmute yourself and then ask.
You can raise your hand, and I can answer that. I am also giving an option for audience to unmute themselves. Yes, Nageshwar Rao garu, Nageshwar Singh, unmute.
Prabhuji, pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please tell me, Prabhu.
Since so many days I am having one doubt, Prabhuji. Bhagavad Gita, I too read in several places. It is a spiritual book or manual of instruction, or religious. But in the court, government, in the court, we are taking the oath on the Bhagavad Gita. That means it is beyond the religion and beyond the spiritual. The ultimate, that means in the judicially, that is the ultimate. Whatever you are saying the truth by taking the oath on the Bhagavad Gita. In this, can you put some light on this, please?
To be honest,
yes.
Let me humble myself. I don't know whether it is that practice is still in place.
Yes.
As of today, they still take oath on Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Okay, maybe the secularists somehow didn't take notice of that, Otherwise, they would question, why only Gita and why not something else? Maybe when the constitution was formed, they must have, because they must have thought that is the purest form of, See, the scripture, they are non-different than Lord, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks himself actually. It is his literary incarnation, right? So by taking oath on the Bhagavad Gita, that means you are taking oath on the Supreme Lord, who is your eternal Father,
Yes,
so it is expected that one speaks truth. Now, we know in courts nobody speaks truth. So I really do not know whether what is happening is, in one sense, it is good that people they become cautious that somebody is asking me to vote to take vow on this. That means it is very special. That is the good side of it. Other side of it is that people take it cheap and then vow on Gita and still speak lie. Then that's unfortunate also. So are we making it cheap or are we upholding it is something I cannot comment. What I can all do is that I can, in my capacity, in my circle of influence, help people to understand the greatest treasure we have. Even to be happy in this world, you need to be knowledge, and that knowledge, and then only Gita can give you that knowledge, because the material science can only give knowledge about this body and matter. But unfortunately, you are not that. So who will help you? The scriptures.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So, can somebody, if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, anyone wants to share any one of your experiences, what you underwent. I mean, you read Bhagavad Gita and then you felt like whatever is, okay, there is somebody in Galaxy. Yes, yes, Galaxy, I don't know. Want to speak, Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna. Okay. So, okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Pranam.
Recently, I have completed my Bhagavad Gita classes by ISKCON Vijayawada, the second batch.
Let me see your face.
Narendra.
No, I'm not finding it. Okay, let me spotlight. Yes, bro. So where are you from?
I am from Nalgonda district, which is located in Telangana.
Okay. I think I remember you. Yeah, you have once come to my class.
Right.
Yes.
Prabhuji, so it is a really very good experience to me. Hello?
Yeah, please tell me.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. So, though just it is my personal experience. I do not have any doubts right now. So, you said just you can share your experience so that I'm speaking. So, I took the just Bhagavad Gita in the year of 2016 in ISKCON temple located in Tirupati when I was visited. So, I read on the very next few days when I purchased. So, I did not understand anything. So I kept it aside. It kept in myself. So recently I got a poster in my WhatsApp by saying, so there is a online classes. I am doing work from home, so I have sufficient time to attend classes. So I just want, it is only my little intensive. So how ISKCON, with people who believe the God, who already just associated with ISKCON, so how they are living actually, what is their point of view, how they are living actually. So that is only my enthusiasm to know and also to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Sorry, Prabhuji, there is a disturbance.
No, tell me.
So
Complete.
I have two doubts in my mind when I was started in Bhagavad Gita online classes. So why should we believe God? So that was my question. So I got the answer. So total universe is running. So without there is somebody should be there. So entire world is running. So I have so
Yeah.
many examples you given in the classes. So I completely believed, and what I'm feeling right now is I should start these classes before 10 years. It would be I would be become more effective person. I would be spread in my family and relatives. So they would be become spirituality, or else they do good work to society. So I'm feeling very blessed, and I'm very happy to participate in the second batch. So I would like to visit ISKCON in coming Sunday. So I'm really happy, Prabhuji. So I lived my 30 years of, I'm feeling, my current feeling is I wasted 30 years of age. So I should read, I should read before 10 years so that I become a good, effective person. So I'm really happy, Prabhuji. This is only my experience. So that's all, Prabhuji. I'm really
Thank you.
happy,
Thank
and
you, Prabhuji.
I would like to wear the Tulsi Mala. So next.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Actually, we should be grateful to the Supreme Lord that sometimes we may have come in engaged, introduced to this knowledge, sometimes at a later age. But whatever it is, first of all, we understand that it is Lord's love that is manifesting in the form of Bhagavad Gita. It's Lord's love that is manifesting in the form of devotees. It's Lord's love that is manifesting in the form of Mother Nature supplying everything. So whether it is little early or little late, in all cases, uh, we have to be grateful and thankful. Then we can whatever life we have, we can make best use of this knowledge and perfect our lives actually. Hmm. And in the time frame of eternity, so one thing Bhagavad Gita helps us and convince is that this life what you are living is not the only life. This is the journey of a soul, in the eternal journey of a soul, and this life is a small thing. So we should not be, so as far as material life is concerned, we should not take it too seriously beyond a point, because it's one of millions. But when it comes to spiritual journey, we should take it very seriously, because this is the only life which can help you to come out of this cycle of birth and death and to go back to our eternal father. But as far as material life is concerned, we don't have to take it too beyond a point, because we have been living like this for millions of lives. And in this lifetime, we have come encountered this knowledge, so we should be thankful for that to the Lord for that. Yeah. So, any other question? I would like to
Prabhuji, we
ask
have a question.
hear questions from you
Prabhuji.
more on, because today's topic, I didn't go too much into spirituality. I tried to focus primarily on how in our day-to-day life this knowledge helps. So if somebody would like kind of in that context, somebody can ask me, that would be more better. Like maybe some of your material life problem, you can share some of your problem, and I can help you how Bhagavad Gita helps you understand that. Yes, yeah, somebody is answering. Doctor.
Prabhuji, I mean, actually, we have a question from Deepti ma'am. Is the Swatvik food can control our thoughts or not? Or is there significance in choosing food habits, whether it is a veg or non-veg?
Oh, thank you. It is said, Bhagavad Gita speaks this, because as I said, Bhagavad Gita gives signs of everything that is necessary. So the food is a very important aspect, right? Because jiva jivasya jivanam, the food has three components. The first component is the gross matter, that what we are eating and all. The gross matter comes out as urine and stool, okay, malamutra. The second thing is the Subtle matter, that is the vitamins, minerals, proteins, nutrients that gets mixed in the blood. And the third thing is the consciousness. As every food, whatever you are eating, has three components. One thing is it just comes out. Second thing is it mixes in your blood. It nourishes your body. That much people understand. The third element is something which no doctor can help you understand, because they can only deal with matter. Shastra speaks. The third thing is the consciousness. And what does consciousness mean? It nourishes your consciousness. The food nourishes your consciousness, the subtle body, and the three modes, and your personality. Everything, a lot depends on the food. And how does the on what basis the food is? What is the consciousness of the food? It depends on multiple factors. That is, the person who is cooking the food, his consciousness also enters that. With what consciousness is cooking? The person who is serving the food, that consciousness also enters. And the person who is, with what money, the who purchases that food, that factor also enters. And that food ultimately comes from another living entity. You don't eat dead matter, no? Sand or stones. We don't eat dead matter. We eat living matter, whether it is plants or animals. The living matter, it's a living entity. So the consciousness of the living entity also matters. Okay. So all these factors makes your consciousness. Apart from sinful reactions, that is keeping it aside, even the consciousness, So the plant food, that is considered sattvic food. The plants, although they are living entities, their consciousness according to Shastra is almost dull. That means a plant, is the lowest stage of consciousness where they do not feel the pain or pleasure. Unlike other jiva, different living entities have different degrees of consciousness. The human being has the highest degree of consciousness, and the sin factor depends on the degree of your consciousness. That is the reason, according to scriptures, killing a human is more sinful compared to killing an animal. That is lesser sinful compared to killing a plant. So, but every jiva, when we take it, that consciousness is also there. An animal, no animal rejoices giving their food to us. The animals weep, they cry. So when they die, their pain they encounter, that consciousness goes in that food. And when you eat that food, that consciousness of the pain encountered by another jiva, that agony, that pain, that consciousness, that pain, enters your consciousness. So the jiva also encounters the pain, because that is the consciousness that he is accepting. So sattvic foods, are those which are pain-free, right, sinless. And second thing also, it also matters, and how we are eating, what we are eating. The best thing is now we should eat the food offered to the Lord. That is most important. That way it will be free from all consciousness, all the sinful things. Another thing is that from whom you are eating also makes a lot of difference. Like at homes, we eat from our parents, your mother. She may not be the best cook, and she may not know all items, but when she is cooking, the person who is earning, your father is earning with love for you. And when your mother is cooking, she is cooking with love. She is serving with love. My son likes this. My son doesn't like this. That was love is there. So so that's the home where the women, when they cook, when they serve, that home the relationships will be better. Why? Because the consciousness of the lady who is cooking, my son likes this, my husband likes this. Her consciousness is in the mode of seva. Seva bhava, prema and seva. Because of that, the person who is eating, that consciousness enters. What is that consciousness? Selflessness. Seva means selflessness. Selflessness and also love, loving relationships. So that food has that. The food has the quality of consciousness of selflessness, seva, and prema. The people who are eating, they also get that. As a result of that, the relationship will be better. There will be other factors, but this, as well as food is concerned, that will enhance. But typically, if you go to any restaurant, the person who is cooking, purely for money, optimizing the profit, is it not? So the consciousness is all about what is in it for me. What is in it for me? That is the person who is managing the business. That is the consciousness of the person who is cooking. The person serving also, he is smiling with a big smile. What is the smile for? Tips and other things. For him, money. So money. What is in for me? Self-centered. So naturally, the person who is eating, that consciousness penetrates. He he also becomes self-centered. What is in it for me? You know? So naturally, those families where, I mean, that is in Western world, why there are frequent divorces and all, because the consciousness is different. Actually, there is no, cooking at home concept in most in West. In India also, the culture is pervading, because of which, the divorce rate is increasing. One of the, I'll tell you, that family where the women, that's the reason the women can make or break the house. It is mentioned according to scripture also, because if her consciousness is proper, and if she's a devotee, and then when she's cooking, she's not only thinking of her son or husband, thinks of the Lord. I am going to offer this to the Lord. That's bhakti, that's devotion. And that devotion enters that food, and that's offered to the Lord. The people who eat it, whether they believe or don't believe, that devotion comes in their life also. So a lot depends upon with whose hands you are eating, and the person who's cooking, he should, his consciousness should be proper. The money, how the where from the money is coming. So all these factors, they affect our subtle body. So, and they all affect. And Bhagavad Gita has everything. See, it's extremely, I said, from macro level to micro level, it explains everything actually, Bhagavad Gita. Thank you.
Prabhuji, one last question.
Yeah, last question.
Because of the time constriction, this question is from Jyoti.
Yeah, I could see that, no? So she is asking,
yes,
how Bhagavad Gita knowledge can help the students not to commit suicide when they fail to crack the competitive exams. Thank you, Jyoti. It's a very important and burning question. And I wish to take this example in my slides. I didn't do that because I was always having the fear whether I will be able to complete it on time or not. But now that you have asked me, with this, I would like to conclude. Yes. You see, each one of us, I think I have shown you the picture. Each one of us, there are two elements that come into picture for any result. One thing is free will, another thing is destiny. Okay. So what does that mean? That means each one of us, we are bound by certain destiny. That is called karma, karmic reactions, you can call it as. That means based upon your previous pious credits and all those things are there. So because life is a eternal journey. If it is if that is not given to you, see, when we are born with, we get something which are fixed. Your birth is fixed, your death is fixed, and your happiness is fixed, your suffering amount is fixed. The amount of happiness, the amount of suffering is already fixed actually. They are fixed things. And within that, you have other things which you can change. So that is called, so there are some amount of karma that comes with every living entity. And we all can only extend ourselves till that point only, not beyond that, no matter how much we try. Like for example, a goat is tied to the pole by a rope. Now the goat can only at max travel within that rope. Okay. Not, it can maybe, it can sit, does it have freedom? It has freedom. But how much freedom? The freedom is defined by that rope. It can be next to the pole, little distance, little distance, little distance, little distance, Some goat may have a rope of 1 kilometer. That means goat can 1 kilometer, roam 1 kilometer radius, Some have only 1 meter, then it can hardly move. So like, so each one of us, we are bound by, our previous karmic reactions actually. Now, but then the jiva also has to endeavor and work hard, because just because it is there doesn't mean that you will get it. That rope may be there, but then you have to maximize that. So whatever was as a karmic reaction comes, if you put your endeavor and effort, and if the reaction is, if the karma is also there, then you will get it. But even if the karma is there, good karma, if you don't endeavor, you will not get it. And we, all of us, we don't know what is our karma. All that you know is what is in my hands. What is in your hands? To work hard, to try your level best. So after you do that, then if it is not in your destiny, you can't get it, This is the problem with so-called motivation speakers who say you can win. Sky is the limit. They give example of somebody who is a handicapped person who won Olympics. They will say that, what, just see, nothing can limit a person, she is a handicapped, still she won Olympics in fast running race, whatever, But there may be many people who may have also similar problem. They may have worked equally hard or more harder, but they may not have won it, right? That means there is another element also. Is this the Shah Rukh Khan the only person who has come from interior village who has worked hard because of which become number one? Are there no other person who is as talented as him or more talented than him? Same time worked harder than him? Talent है, hard work है. ये दोनों होने के बाद भी there may be some more people, but still they have not become as good as Shah Rukh. Why? If only hard work is the factor. There are many who worked harder than us, but things still doesn't happen with everyone. Why? Because there is also something called destiny. So both factors come in picture. Of course, destiny is something which is not in your control. Hard work is in your hands. So work hard, focus on something which you have control. But after that, after doing, if you are convinced that you did your best, nothing you have to worry actually. You understand? It's not in me. So let me see what is possible. I will do that. And that is what Krishna has given me. Within that, let me see how can I make my material life and spiritual life better. So you can't change your destiny, but you can, like for example, some misery is supposed to come because by your destiny. You get the misery, but you have the option how to respond. You can curse God, you can criticize God, you can criticize people, or you understand, that Supreme Lord, out of mercy, He has reduced the pain and given me a little. Let me serve more. So sometimes the troubles or the pains, it can help a person to come more closer to God. Some people go more away. So what happens to you is not always in your control. How you respond to it is in your control. So as such, simply according to Bhagavad Gita, I can show you the slide. The slide will make you understand better. I have mentioned that slide. You see this slide? Jiva, Ishvara, and Prakriti. Now you are working very hard. Actually, all that a Jiva can do is desire. To want to do struggle, work hard, get into IIT, something like that. That's a desire. You're working. But then it also sees whether you have the karma credit or not. If you do have it, then the Supreme Lord sanctions it. And then Prakriti, material nature, it performs. That means it will enable your mind, it will give you memory, forgetfulness, blah, 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 and all other external activities. If it is not in your account, then no matter how much you work hard, at that time you won't get the memory. You may get some stomach pain, you may get some this problem, some other tension because of which you couldn't. The reason can be anything, external reason can be anything because of which why you couldn't do it. But then you will not be able to do it because it was not sanctioned for you. Right? So this is a realistic approach. Somebody may say, Prabhuji, you are making people lazy. No, I'm not making people lazy. I am a realistic person actually. Okay, this is very important factor. Because sometimes people want to go, अरे कुछ भी कर सकते हैं आदमी, and देखो, I come from a village, I did so much, but there are many who came from village, they have worked harder than you. Did they not? Why did they not make it? So like that, so there are other factors which are not in your control also. So when you understand Gita, when you understand there are some other things, then you understand, चलो, वो मेरे हाथ में नहीं है. Why should I worry about something which is not in my hand? Other person is sleeping, will you cry? Other person is so you don't have control of something, then you will not be disturbed by that. So result is not in your hands. That's the reason Krishna is telling, result is not in your hands. Do your best because that is what you can do. Leave the rest to God, because that is Krishna will give you if it is good for you. He will not give you if it is not good for you or if it is not destined for you. That's okay. We will do something else. So life doesn't begin with IIT. Life doesn't end with IIT or whatever medicine, whatever you call it as. Just a passing phase. This is not only for students, for everyone in all professions. Otherwise, you think maybe you are a useless guy, you are a worthless person, you will get depression, demoralized, and whatever you can do, that also you will not be able to do. And many people are misleading people, thinking that they say that no, you are not tried enough. That's not right. Maybe you have not tried enough. You ask yourself, if you are not tried, try more. That is another way of showing Krishna your sincerity. After giving your best, it doesn't happen. What can you do about that? Yes, I hope I answered that question. Yes, Satya Prabhu. So
yes, thank you, Prabhuji. We take this golden opportunity to thank you, for your valuable time and giving your insight on today's topic. And you already mentioned, a famous verse from Gita. Karmanivadikaraste maphaleshu kadachana. I mean, Lord Krishna said these words to Arjuna. hey Arjun, do your work and don't expect anything in return. I think very apt for you, Prabhuji. I mean, because I just approached Prabhuji with a request to spend up some quality time with our customers, without any expectation. He obliged our request. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot once again. And also take this opportunity to thank all the participants for participating and then being such a wonderful audience. God bless you all with good health and happiness. Good evening and thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you.